Dear Mr. My 7-year-old has been getting really upset during transitions at school, and his teacher feels he's just being stubborn or difficult. But at home, he's such a sweet kid, and I don't feel like he's doing this to be defiant. How can I help his teacher see his behavior differently and find ways to support him without assuming he's just being difficult? This one comes up far too often. Kids are doing the best they know how to do. And we just have to believe that about them. That they are working as hard as they possibly can, even when they're being disruptive, even when they're making choices that we completely disagree with, even when they're doing things that we feel like we have reminded them 1,000 times are not the best choice. They are doing the best they know how to do. Bad kids don't exist. Bad kids don't exist. Just remember it. So let's talk just a little bit about this. Children's behavior is the way that they communicate. So if a child is having trouble, especially if they're having trouble consistently with something, what that means is they're trying to tell you that this is difficult for them. Or they're trying to tell you there's some reason they don't like this thing. It's not about trying to force them to follow the guideline. It's about trying to figure out, okay, where's that coming from? How can we shift some of that or let them know that it's okay? If this child is having trouble during transitions, there can be all sorts of reasons for that. It could be that they were really enjoying the thing that they were doing before and it's hard to give it up and want to move to something that's less pleasurable for them. It could be that they have some anxiety about it and they don't know what's to come, but they felt like they were doing this one just fine and now they're going to have to get ready for the next thing. It could be that when they walk in the hall, there's some sort of light or sound or smell or something that just bothers them as they're walking in the hallway. It could be any number of things, but none of those things is this child just likes to be defiant. It doesn't exist. Bad kids don't exist. There's even a disorder that's called oppositional defiant disorder. It's OD. That just for a lot of reasons, people have labeled children with this ODD, oppositional defiant disorder, as just being, they just like to be defiant. They just like going against the grain. That is not what's going on in ODD. I won't get into that just now, but there's even another one that's just called conduct disorder. And conduct disorder is where a child is showing a pattern of disruptive and dangerous behaviors that seem to come out of nowhere. Guess what? It's not from out of nowhere. There's a reason for it. So no child just loves being defiant and they would not be happier any other way than just defiant. That is not the case. So reframe that. Then try to see if you can find out what's going on. Is it, you said during transitions at school, but is it the same transition every day? Or is it every single transition? Is it just when they're going to one certain class? Is it just when they're switching from one certain subject? As you ask more questions about, okay, tell me more about their difficulty with transitions. What it could be is, well, they do great when they're going to lunch or going to science or going to recess or going to math class, but when they have to do social studies, they lose control. Great. Now we know there's something up with social studies. So is it the teacher that's teaching social studies? I'm not saying that the teacher is bad. I'm saying, is there something about the teacher that makes the child feel uncomfortable? Is there something in the hallway that the child is walking to this certain class? Is it something about the material that the child is learning? I can tell you I had a difficulty at a time in my life because there was a class I went to and there were some really scary things that they shared. I thought they were really scary. Other people were fine with it. But for me, they were really scary. Well, guess what? The next day, I didn't want to go back to that class. Now, I had some fantastic teachers who figured out what happened. They supported me and they helped me get there and they helped me sit through it and they debriefed with me afterwards. It was great. I still had to meet the expectation of going to the class. But we figured out, oh, it's because I experienced this thing that was really scary for me. I don't want to put myself through that again. There's a difference there. So see if you can ask more questions and really turn it into this collaborative effort where it's like, okay, I hear you saying that they have struggle with transitions, but that can mean a lot of things. Can you be more specific? So let's talk about what behaviors are they showing? What are the circumstances surrounding the transition? Did they get a heads up that the transition is about to happen? There could be any number of things, but guess what? None of those things are. This child is just bad, loves being bad, and loves making adults in their life feel miserable. That child doesn't exist. Bad kids don't exist. And if you'll remember that, then you can really focus on, okay, describe to me specifically what you see during transitions, which transitions, where are they going, where are they coming from? And once you understand the system surrounding it, you can find better ways to support that child. Do not ever believe that there is a bad kid doing bad things just because they like doing bad things. Bad kids don't exist. If this answer was helpful for you, hopefully it was. If it was, make sure you like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out, and so that you can help other people find this content as well. It helps me a ton.